Hi, guys, and welcome. Whoa, Karen disappeared. Okay, well, I will try to fix her video thing here, and hopefully, when she gets back, it will be right. But welcome everybody to Sci-Fi. There she is. There she's back. There we go. It should work now. If you add yourself to the stage, it'll work. There we go. All right. Welcome.
At the moment, the minute we went live, you came on, my internet died. I'm on the public open Wi-Fi, so I hope I don't have any problems.
That's okay. We'll figure it out. Welcome everybody to Sci-Fi-Vision for October 12th. This is the 6th episode of Daryl Dixon, Contrabando, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. And then we have one more episode. So yeah, this is the penultimate episode. Next week, I believe Kelly from Cyborg Queen Media is going to be joining us as well. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Until then, we of course have Fandom Access on Tuesday at 10 Eastern. That's our next show, which we have Invasion and Wayward Pines, and yeah, not sure what else.
No, right Wayward, not Wayward Pines.
What did I say? Wayward. I'm sorry, Wayward, not Wayward Pines. Wayward. It's easy to do that.
And
Wayward.
Yeah.
And potentially The Last Frontier, if you've watched it by then, to at least talk a little bit with you about it. You need to go watch it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But we have some other stuff coming up, so stay tuned. Make sure you join our Discord if you haven't, to check out our schedule and all that. I know it's been a little slow, but we'll be getting back up there. So just make sure you check that out. Make sure you follow the channel on Sci-Fi-Vision on YouTube if you haven't already, and like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and also check out our interviews under our video tab. I just stuck up. I was having technical difficulties, but I just stuck up the Robert Patrick interview from Tulsa King, where of course I also asked him about X-Files, because how could I not? So, and I see my video isn't up. So yeah, check that out. And there is one more Outlander interview going up as well. After we're done here tonight, I'm going to get it posted. Like I said, I was having some tech issues, but it will be up. And yeah, so check all that out. And until then, we will be talking about Daryl Dixon. So, Karen, since you just saw it, I mean, I just saw it too, but I'd seen it before. What did you think of this episode?
I'm going to turn on a light here. Episode last week that we both enjoyed, and that some of our friends in the chat thought was maybe the best episode of the season. It was going to be hard to, match that. But I thought this was maybe the low point of the season. I mean, I don't mean to say that it was terrible, but I think there are some plot points that are pretty weak. The writing, I felt, let me down a little bit this week. And there were some plot points that I just couldn't really get behind, that seemed to could have been done better. So that's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think this one was, I guess, pretty average. I agree, out of the, the group of them. And I agree with you. There were some issues with this one. I think with the plot, it was a lot better last week. And this one, stuff happened, but it wasn't as, I don't know, it wasn't as exciting, I guess, as I expected it to be, especially because it is the one right before the finale. Yeah, and the scenes that should have been exciting, the attempted rescue, as I said in the watch party chat, and we'll talk about when we get closer to that part of the episode. I had some problems with that as well, which I think kind of made me not like the episode as much, because some of what they did maybe wasn't, in my opinion, what made sense to me. So yeah. But I mean, it was okay. It wasn't bad or anything. It just. Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't really good, though. As an hour of television, as a story, it wasn't really good. I mean, look, the scenery continues to be good, right? And the characters I generally like, and of course, it's Carol and Daryl. But I think, to me, this might be the worst episode of the 3 seasons. In terms of well, no, I mean, there was some crazy, terrible, that crazy cult religious guy, there was some, but I think story wise, characters are doing things that didn't make sense, and that bothers me a lot. I want to just say hi, Kimberly, and also Faith and Repentance. Watch 2 and 3, and then come back and watch season 4 with us next year. So get out of here before we start spoiling you. But thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, appreciate you coming in. But yeah, we will spoil. So if you don't want to get spoiled, you will need to tune out for a bit. But thank you for dropping by. Appreciate it. But yeah, well, we got one left, and then there's one more season.
Yeah,
I was I don't know. Overall, like there were things I liked. Kimberly. There were things I liked about this season, but there's things I don't like about this season. I mean, I kind of feel like last season was maybe stronger overall, I think. I mean, I didn't expect to feel that way because I was happy Carol was back. But some of it I just don't find as exciting as I did last year for whatever reason. So it is what it is. But
yeah.
I guess it'll depend how the season, ends too, right? So.
Yeah. But yeah. So, okay, well, let's get into it. We can talk about the things that specifically are like that we liked and that we didn't like and that are driving me to say things like, is this the worst episode of 3 seasons? And look, there's only been 6, and 5, right? So that's 17 episodes. So, I mean, we used to watch a whole 22 episode season. There's always like a bad episode or an episode that you don't like, or not every episode is the best episode. Some episode has to be the worst one. And
there's always going to be a low
one, right?
The high end. But yeah, I mean, like I said, overall, I like the season. I don't know if I like it as much as last season, but like I said, it really depends. I think how the season ends, how I'll feel when it's all done.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it starts out. Paz has caught up with Daryl, and again, I mean, that's not a good thing, but it's very, very predictable because I know we said at the end of last week, like that's what's going to happen. It was very obvious that she was coming and that she would help him finish the Legos journey. Not that matters. I mean, I like Paz. I don't know. I wasn't surprised, I guess. But
I like her enough.
Sorry, what?
I like her enough, right? I mean, she's
and I like her and Daryl together, like fighting together. I think they're pretty good. I mean, so far though, like she hasn't. I mean, maybe once she gets like to the end of her journey, because obviously she's after trying to free Elena, and Daryl's after trying to free Justina. So I think, like I said, I think that's all going to depend on how it culminates. Now I was going to say there's something she said here. I think it was in reference to the thermos. Because there's like a hippo on it, isn't there?
I don't know.
I mean, it's the cartoon that's the hippo. Not that it's important, but she said something about I didn't think you were a hippomyopy guy or something. I think it was just something to do with the thermos. So
I guess. I mean, really, do we have a choice of what like utensils we use 12 years after nothing has been manufactured?
It wasn't a good joke. It was just kind of fell flat for me. But I did really like though. Okay, they're on their way to Barcelona. That's where they're going to go. But I did like, obviously, we always say we like the locations. But this place that they're looking out over, you can see there's like a merry-go-round and there's like a Ferris wheel. There's some kind of like amusement park here, which I thought was cool. It's the name of the hippo. Okay, thank you, B. That's kind of what I thought and figured, but I don't know because I don't know cartoon hippos, so I don't know. Or it might have just been hippo in Spanish. Who knows? But like I thought the idea of an amusement park taken over by walkers was kind of cool. And I almost wish they had like at least spent like 5 minutes like exploring the park. Not that we needed it, but it was something different that I thought looked cool and I would have really liked to have seen. I don't know. Like it would have been really cool. Not that it would have still been running now, but at the same time, I can kind of envision walkers going around in circles. So I don't know. But different locale anyway, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, it is a good idea. I mean, we did see an amusement park filled with zombies in Zombieland, right?
Right. I mean specifically in Walking Dead world.
But this is
that was in Kennywood, I think. I think that was filmed in Kennywood, if I remember rightly, which is in Pittsburgh. So
this is there's a famous amusement park in Barcelona that's one of the oldest amusement parks in the world. It's from like 1900 or something like that. And so it's pretty. it's pretty cool if this is that one, which it probably is because it's like super famous.
Yeah,
Right?
it said they're filming in Barcelona, so
And it is also, it's built up on a ridge, like overlooking the city. So this is probably that one, right?
yeah.
And it has all these original old rides and stuff. And so it's cool. It looks pretty cool. I did think, like, how do these people get stuck in the Ferris wheel for, like, I guess the Ferris wheel operator keeled over and people were then stuck up there. Like nobody could ever rescue them and they just starved to death up there.
Probably. They've been probably decaying there for a decade or whatever, a couple decades.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It just was something different that I wish they would have diverted just for a couple minutes to kind of show. Like I said, not that it was anything we needed. I just would have liked to have seen it because it would have looked cool.
I felt similar. I love Barcelona so much, and it's one of my favorite cities, and it is architecturally so interesting that I was really looking forward to seeing it. And I guess I have to wait till next episode to see like where they're going to be able to shoot and what it's going to look like. So
well,
I was
the locations are always great. The walkers are always great. I mean, that's at least there's that. Like even sometimes if the writing's a little weak, everything always looks really cool.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about that. But anyway, yeah, they've been stuck there a long time, I guess. So yeah, the whole point of this scene is basically Paz and Daryl talking about leaving to go to, I don't remember how they pronounce it, Villa. They're going to follow the convoy to find Justina, which we already knew, but they're basically just like, this is where we're headed. And so nothing really happened in this scene other than them just talking about their plans to head here or there. And then we go back to Salaz, to Antonio here, who is with Carol and Roberto, who's still in bed, and the little cat there. And sorry, I'm thinking after, I'm like, I should have told you trigger warning with the cat, maybe, but
that's all right. Yeah. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm like, I have never seen this cat before, right? And now no, seriously, this cat, I don't think this cat has been in the show. And then it's in like 3 or 4 shots in like the first part of the show. And I was like, oh, okay, this cat is a thing, right? Like this cat, suddenly he's got this cat that sits in his lap all the time.
Yeah, and that's where I'm not sure, like from a plot point, how I feel about that. Because if they had maybe showed it earlier in the season, then it would feel more intentional. But at the same time, like, I don't know that I really want to see more of a cat just to find out it's going to not be there, because then I would have been more upset. So I don't know how I feel. I I remember Skidmark and how worried I was about Skidmark all the time.
Yeah, well, you're a little like unusual, right? Like,
okay, Bean said it's been in a few episodes. Carol's been petting it, holding it.
Oh,
okay,
really?
Since I've seen them multiple times, I'm not sure which episode goes where to remember which was which, but I do remember her carrying it around at one point, but I thought that was in this episode.
Oh, well, thank you, B, because I never noticed it before. And then Kelly says that, yeah, they should have drinking out of a mug more than once, right?
Okay. Yeah, I assumed it was all this episode, but it definitely
in this episode it was drinking out of a mug.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy
which they do, right? And if you have a cat at home, no, like you leave a glass of water out, the cat like comes right over and would much rather drink out of your glass of water.
Of course. And as soon as you saw that, you knew what the point of it was.
Yeah.
Okay. B says, I remember her petting it because it made me think of Ezekiel and Shiva. Fair enough. That's cool. Well, yeah, I guess I appreciate that it was in it before. I'm just kind of surprised. I guess I didn't pay enough attention, because usually anytime there's a pet on one of these shows or an animal, I'm like, no, I'm worried about it the whole time. But I guess it's a cat, not a dog. So that's part of it. All right. So anyway, as he's petting this cat, he is talking to Carol and telling her about how he bought a Super 8 camera and about, filming his wife. And she was the only one that believed in him and thought that it wasn't just like some silly dream that he wanted to make movies. And that's what this conversation is about. And then Fede's mother comes in to check on Roberto, who seems at this point to be doing better, we've been told. What there? I said Roberto's doing better. There you go. Right with the captions, right? Fede comes in to visit as well. Yeah, everything seems fine at this point. We don't really realize anything's necessarily up. He does ask, did Fede say anything? And it,
Has Roberto said anything?
Has Roberto said anything? And it kind of made me question, like, does he, does he think that maybe he really was there, and he's trying to find out stuff, which we know he does know because his mother gave him that, or at least he suspects, because she gave him that compass. And all, I think it was the last episode. So he suspects that he may have been with.
Wait, he suspects that Fede suspects that Roberto may have
been with Alcazar, and that he might, be going to tell things, and so he doesn't want that that being known. There's one problem I have with that, and I have this problem throughout the rest of the episode. Even if that's the case, and we know it's the case, but even if it is, he has no reason to suspect that Carol and Antonio know, because Roberto could have had all this go down and lied about it, right? And not told them the truth, not told him who he went after. They could have found him when he was knocked out. We know the compass got there somehow, but there's nothing, in my opinion, for Fede to have reason to believe that Carol and Antonio are lying, other than they want us to believe that.
Except that he hates Antonio and thinks the worst of him in every situation.
Right. But later, like, he automatically says, like, oh, Carol's a liar. Daryl's like, he doesn't really know that. He's just making.
Carol is a gigantic liar. She is, right?
He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. I mean, he does know later that Daryl didn't show up. But again, Carol could have thought that Daryl was at the beach. Like, he could have lied to her. I'm just saying that he really.
Carol's been contradicting him since the day she rolled into town, and like right at the very first night at dinner, she started running her mouth. She has been kind of like poking at it. Like, Antonio's like either one of them, right? And she has expressed her distaste for how he runs this town since 2 minutes after she showed up.
Yeah, so I guess he would definitely be on high alert. I can buy that he would be suspicious.
I'm not saying I don't agree with Carol, that I don't like the way he doesn't run the town either, right?
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying that he seems very quick to, jump to the fact that they're lying and everything. And
I guess also when you're a big liar who like has constructed a giant lie for 12 years, you maybe start to be suspicious of everybody.
True. Very, very true.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying that we don't really have evidence that he's super paranoid, but
No, but he could be. He does ask again about Daryl, and Carol says he's been there in the beach, and that's where he says he works all day and night. He's not resting, and she's like, "Oh, he's just a hard worker," But yeah, no necessarily a reason to think she's lying, but other than he maybe doesn't trust her. But he gets a visit from, I don't remember the guy's name, but the guy comes in and tells him that somebody's at the gates and wants to talk to him.
Oh, his henchman. His henchman.
Yeah, that's the way to put it. So he's like, let me know what happens. So he goes down to the gates, and this guy tells him that, well, they also say Daryl's up to something, but he says that there are, and I should have taken pictures of the three guys. Sorry about that.
Well, isn't that one of them right there?
Yeah, one of them, the one in the front of the cage there. This guy he's talking to, he tells Fede that the three men from Alcazar that were missing, that they're the ones in that cage. So somehow they ended up in with the walkers. And again, doesn't prove anything, but maybe it's suspicious. But this is where Fede says, that she's lying. Meaning Carol. Daryl's up to something. He's assuming. But I don't think yet. I'm not sure if yet he tells her that Daryl wasn't there. I think that's later. Tells him that Daryl wasn't there. I think that's later.
That's much later. That's much later.
So he's just guessing. He's worried. All right. So then, okay, there's that guy that I don't remember.
The henchman.
Sorry, henchman, that I don't remember your name.
I don't know if he had. Yeah.
I know it might have been the other guy's name. One of the henchmen has a name. The one with the big beard, bigger beard.
They're red shirts. They don't need a name.
Yeah, they don't really. You're right. Henchman works. There's the cat. So Carol's. Oh, they have sheep too. Carol. Sorry, that was a weird comment. I just happened to see it. Carol is talking to the cat, bringing it milk, and then she sees that Alberto is taking a shower, and it's an outdoor shower. He, I guess, forgot she was there. But look, I mean, I get it. He lives alone with his son. He's probably not used to having a woman there. And not that that's an excuse, but I'm just saying he wasn't thinking about it.
I don't know. When I live in the apocalypse and have an outdoor shower,
Yeah,
I'm still having a screen around it.
Yeah, I would put a screen around it, but I don't know. Men don't care as much as women do.
I don't know about that. No, this is gratuitous. This is gratuitous, right?
It is gratuitous. But I did kind of like how in the behind the scenes they were saying like that they did that on purpose because usually it's the other way around and they wanted to show.
Oh, I missed that part. Yeah,
the producer was saying, or the director, I think it's the producer, was saying that like they usually you see like they find the woman or whatever in the shower. Well, they were doing the opposite to kind of show, to be different than what the norm in a show. So I kind of appreciate that, and I did think it was kind of a cute, awkward scene. I mean, it was cute, and he's like, "You could take a shower," and then he's like, "What am I here? What am I here?" Like, I'm not asking that. I mean, they're awkward. I still do not buy their relationship, which we can talk about a bit later. But
I don't think they have a relationship. They have a flirtation, and I can be okay with that. They don't have a relationship. They have maybe a friendship.
I have a problem with well, but I guess at the same time, though, I guess kissing her goodbye isn't necessarily a relationship either. So
no, it's a flirtation and a friendship, right? But a friend that you've known for a week.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say they're in a no.
Yeah, I said that's not the right description.
I'm not saying I buy it where it's going or any of that, but I didn't buy I don't know if I buy the kiss. I don't buy the kiss, but we'll talk about it when that happens.
Right. But I didn't mind this cute, awkward. I mean, I thought it was a cute, awkward scene. I thought it was fine.
It was fine.
It was what it was. But I liked how he, like I said, that he got flustered where he's like, you could take a shower, and it's like, no, wait, that's not what I meant.
I can't remember the last time I saw a person take a shower on The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I appreciate he's at least clean. I can appreciate that. Sometimes I think Daryl needs to take a shower.
Daryl needs a shower for sure.
Yes,
and some shampoo.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, that's what that scene's about. And like I said, she's awkward, and they're both awkward. And then we go to Valentina, who we like, and she is teaching her how to use the sextant, I think it is, and helping her learn Spanish. And she again makes another, snide joke about something like, tasting the local cuisine or whatever, I think is in this episode. And yeah, I like it.
The local wine.
The local wine. Okay, sorry, the local wine.
I appreciate this scene a lot. In part, I'm the one who has complained, like, it's just not believable that these two can sail across the Atlantic Ocean and get home. And when it happens next season, it's going to make me angry. And so I appreciate that, like, Carol's learned navigation now, right? And like, to me, this little bit of a side detail of what's happening as a backdrop to their conversation about Antonio. Like, I appreciate this little side thing, like filling in that hole for me about how are they ever going to sail across the ocean. So thank you, whoever wrote this.
And they're at least trying to learn Spanish too, I guess. Although you would think that her and Daryl would have maybe tried that a little bit sooner, but they're trying, or she's trying. So then we have Fede's mother is coming to talk to Fede, and she's ready to go see Roberto again. And he's like, no, you take care of the pregnant woman. I'll send, I don't remember her name, somebody else to check on Roberto, and, acts like there's no time for her to take care of him, that he'll have someone else do it. And he sends her away. And we, later on, we find out why this is. He clearly didn't want his mother to know, what he was up to. And then once she walks away, after he hugs her there, he opens his drawer and he has a picture of who we found out from the videos is Alberto, his wife.
Maria,
who is dead, but was his wife. So there was some kind of, whether they were in a relationship or whether he just was in love with her and she didn't return it, I don't know. But yeah, there's something that was going on with him and Maria.
Which we have been like speculating about this for weeks, right? Like almost since the antagonism between these two men appeared on screen, we're like, oh, it's over a woman for sure, right? And we've been, this was not, I guess it was maybe there are some viewers for whom it was a surprise reveal, but I feel like we have been expecting this and building towards this for a while. That
Yeah, I think if we were watching it, we should have
yeah,
figured something was coming.
yeah.
All right. So then we do see some home movies. And it's partially in voiceover. We see videos of his wife there, but also
Maria.
it's mixed in of Maria. Excuse me, and it's mixed in with Paz and Daryl, and Antonio in voiceover is talking about a story where a monster was given animals to satiate it to eat, and then eventually they needed people, so it was fed a princess, and Saint George arrived and killed the dragon. It's like, I don't know, some kind of fairy tale. I don't know if it was something he told his son or it was really, I mean, it's kind of like the women that they're giving to the town, right? I mean, sacrificing is basically what I'm guessing it represents.
Yeah, I mean, it's a famous legend, right? The legend of Saint George and the Dragon. It's like Saint George is maybe a Roman, I think, in the original like story or whatever. But it's a very, very, very old legend from like, well, he's a knight, right? So from the time of knights, what's that, like the Middle Ages, right? So it's a pretty famous.
Yeah, it's a passed down story, but yeah, I think it's supposed to parallel them sacrificing the women to Alcazar. Is kind of the point.
I don't know if there's. I guess Saint George is real.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I mean, I didn't learn about Saint George in Catholic school, but I guess he's a real saint. Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
So while this is going on, they are looking around. They have stopped to find Paz's friends because she thinks they can help them get to Barcelona in order to find Justina. And he comments like nobody's there, and then some walkers come out. But eventually the people come out, and they get him past the gate away from the walkers, but then they hold them at bow point, not gunpoint, bow point there. That's racist, nice crossbow. And they at first are gonna like, we don't know, do what to them, but then Pav recognizes the one woman, this woman here, Lila. Laya. Okay, I have Laya. Probably auto-corrected. So they were people that knew each other before, and we find out that basically this place is a haven for girls that escaped Alcazar or that never made it to Alcazar, whatever, that have run there. And they've been kind of taking care of them. It's a refugee community for them. But they do not want to help Daryl and Paz because they do not have resources in order to attack Barcelona.
I appreciate
attack Barcelona, attack the convoy.
I mean, I appreciated finding a group of people who seem to be normal as opposed to all the psychotic weirdos that like we're constantly running into everywhere Daryl and Carol go. And they're pretty normal. And they're like, oh yeah, come in the gate, we'll save you. They're not like, no, you can't come in. We don't trust anyone. We hate everyone. They're like, they're like, oh, here's 2 live humans being attacked like zombies. Let's like bring them in.
Yeah, they save them and then they're like, who are you? But they
and look, I'm like, don't go with Daryl. You'll definitely die, right? And they're not wrong to be like, we don't even know you. Why would we help you, right? But then basically, I guess Laya, because she knows Paz, is like, yeah, we'll help you, which is like a bad move on the part of a leader of a community, right?
Yeah.
But
they agree after. Sorry, that's racist about the bow. So they go back to the rest of the community, and Paz sees Khalid, who's somebody she knew, but his girlfriend, wife, whoever, is dead, that they lost. She talks about Elena, but basically they're saying we want to save Justina and Elena, and it's not just them. We can save everybody else. And they also, I'm pretty sure it's on this scene where they're also telling them, hey, that Elena is going to marry the future Spanish king. So if they kill him, they kill the king, then like there'll be no more La Ofrenda. So
the fake king, basically. I mean, it's a fake king. It's like the new Alcazar, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, the king is Spain. Actually, I think it's not like
Queen, the queen, what's her name? That beautiful queen of Spain, King Juan Carlos, and Queen whoever. Like, it's not like their son. It's like the Alcazar's next in command guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. The Alcazar guy is the one that's is going to be king after the king that's there now, but probably not a legit king. I would agree with that.
No, they're just like warlords that like name
Right.
themselves the king.
Yeah, but the point is, you kill the king, no more ofrenda. So that's kind of their bargaining chip, their idea of you have to help us because of this. So that's that thing.
I think that's kind of a leap. I mean,
It is. It is.
right?
It is.
Could you just kill him and they'll be like, oh, we got another guy, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, look, if they killed all of Alcazar, yeah, then he's not wrong, but that's not likely to happen.
well,
so.
it's Carol and Daryl, so I think it's likely they will destroy the entire town and kill hundreds of people before this is over, right?
I am sure that is the case. So yeah, so then it is, let's see, Antonio and Carol. And this is where they're talking. They're talking about, like, at a Spanish dictionary they're looking at, flirting a little bit, talking, not really anything,
This was a little boring.
Yeah, it was just, like I said, it was just kind of them sort of flirting a little bit.
I don't know
things in Spanish that I never heard of. Some idioms in Spanish, like having a hairy tongue. I don't know.
Yeah,
it wasn't really.
I'm not sure if we're supposed to be feeling like a romantic tension or a sexual tension here. Like, will they or won't they going to kiss? I did not get that from this scene at all.
No, I didn't.
I don't know if we were supposed to be. I don't know if there are shippers out there rooting for these two who maybe were feeling something that I did not draw from the screen. I'm not sure these two, like, we're told, we see them flirting and I get it. It's there on the screen. And yet I don't see a huge amount of chemistry.
I mean, I don't dislike Antonio. I just don't.
I don't dislike him. I just don't read it on the screen, a big spark between these two, like, except that she finally, like, he's around her age. Right. And I don't get heat from those two.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He says, I didn't get that from this scene either, but I really don't see any chemistry in general. I don't know. I don't between them at any rate, but regardless of whether, of Daryl, I just don't between the two of them really. I mean, like I said, their flirting was fine, but it wasn't really. And I also just feel like they wanted to give Carol somebody. I feel like as writers, because they did for Daryl last season. It's like, well, let's throw somebody to Carol. That's the feeling I get anyway that they're trying to do. So then they go back in his house, in Roberto's house, and Fede has a fever. And this woman's like, well, the one who was supposed to, I don't know what Donna Morgan, if that's a person or that's the name of the healer, but I assumed that it meant Fede's mother, that she isn't there because they had to take care of the woman having birth. So she's been there with Roberto, and he's getting sick. He has a fever. Which is not good. And Carol's like, well, how? He was doing fine. Why is he suddenly have a fever? She's the only one that says that. And then she's like, well, we got to go ask Fede for medicine, for aspirin, whatever, get rid of his fever. And we'll have to make him comply, is basically what she says, which we know is not going to go well at all. And they have their conversation, and this is where he's like, well, no, because I have to be fair with the resources. And he went when he wasn't supposed to and did things he wasn't supposed to and put people in danger. So I can't spare a few aspirin, a bunch of bullshit. And yeah, Carol knows it's bullshit, and she basically threatens him, and he kind of freaks out a little bit because she's like, what if I wonder what the town would think if they knew what you were doing. Now, I don't know if she was implying anything in particular, like if she meant about Ofrenda, or if she just meant like that you won't give him medicine. I'm not entirely sure what that threat was about. But the point is, he got pissed off, and he's like, then you got to leave if you're going to threaten me. And he's like, and Antonio's like, well, she's my guest. And so, yeah, he says, well, after that, she's leaving, and he like threatens her in Spanish to Antonio. She can't tell secrets, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, look, we know he doesn't like her. That's nothing new. And all she asked for was a few aspirin. But at the same time, he does have to give it to the people of the town. He can't give, all of it to one person, but it's a kid. Like, so what that he did something he disagreed with, that he did something stupid. He still should be helping him and giving him the medicine. And I know later they offer medicine to somebody else, so he's clearly just doesn't want to share. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're saving it in case somebody else gets sick, but like, who eventually, like, when would you use it? You tell the next person I'm saving it in some case somebody else gets sick? Like, I mean, he's saying like Roberto broke the rules and now he has to deal with the consequences, but
that doesn't mean he should let him die, but that's what he's saying. Like, it's his own fault. Which again, we get back to, and they even make a comment on this at the end of the episode, like, apparently before they were allowed to leave. So I'm not sure why he wasn't. I mean, I understand why he didn't want him to leave and why he's pissed about Alcazar, but like,
well, he didn't just leave. He left to try to kidnap Justina back from Alcazar.
But he
right?
doesn't have proof of that. So he's kind of saying,
well, everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. Carol knows it. Everybody knows it, right?
Yes, that's fair. But I'm just saying, like, he didn't really.
I believe he may have announced his intention to do it before he left.
Probably, but he doesn't know he does know he found.
Well, we don't know what he knows. He's got spies. We don't know what he knows, right?
He's assuming because of the compass. I mean, that's the whole thing. He thinks because his mother gave him that. He
knows that Roberto saw Justina because she had the compass when she left, and now Roberto has it. He definitely saw her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He knows it, so he's pissed off, and he's like, no.
Everybody knows it.
Well, I don't think everybody knows he found Justina. They're supposed to be still.
Well, how did he get the compass if he didn't find her?
Yes, but the only people that are supposed to know that is the two of them plus him and his mother, because she found the compass.
Yeah, but why are you saying Fede doesn't know? He has the compass.
Fede does know. I said they don't know that Fede knows. I don't think at this point. They don't know she gave him the compass.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, yeah, he's just like basically saying he tried to leave. But yes, he knows. He knows.
He has all the guards. He's got guys on the walls.
Yeah, I'm just saying they don't know that. So back in that little refugee camp, there's this girl singing, and they talk about how she was in Alcazar.
Who's she? Who's she?
I said the girl who's singing and playing guitar.
Oh, the singing girl was one of Alcazar's people, like captured women.
She was one of the girls that was taken in an
she doesn't have a name.
She was 14 or something, I think. But nobody chose her, so they made her into a slave and beat her all the time. But she escaped. And
they didn't say nobody chose her. She said she wasn't marked.
I thought
we don't know what that means. She said she wasn't
matched. Sorry, apologies. She was never matched. I assumed
never matched. She was never matched.
She was never matched with a man.
That makes no sense to me either. Like, they take only, like, there's only certain girls who participate, right? Like, old ladies don't participate. They're young, marriageable women, and presumably there's a shortage of women, and she's not ugly, and like, whatever's going on there, how do they like have girls that there's no use for?
Yeah, I agree. If they kidnapped a girl, you think she'd be with one of the guys. That part doesn't make sense.
But they don't kidnap. They didn't kidnap her. She's offered and sent away, right? It's not. I might have said kidnapping also. I misspoke, but it's not really a kidnapping. It's a
agreed upon kidnapping. It's still a kidnapping.
I mean, no, it's not a kidnapping. They are sold to the Alcazar. They're not Nobody comes in the night and snatches them.
They're not going out of the goodness of their heart. They're not agreeing.
That's not a kidnapping. That's they're being sold by their parents, by their mayor, by Fede. They know where they know where they're going. Everyone, like, they're not. There's no question. And yeah, they don't want to go, but their families. They agree with their families to go into the lottery, right? Like, they don't run.
I guess the kidnapping isn't the right wording. But they have no choice. It's the same difference.
No, they don't. And it's against their will for sure. But I would say more like they're being sold in exchange for like aspirin and bullets, right?
Yes. But either way, she was never matched with a man for whatever reason. So they made her they beat her. They made her into a slave. But she got away. And these are the kind of women that they're helping out and they're keeping safe. And this is why they don't want to go off and help Daryl and Paz. But this is where he says about the King of Spain, and there'll be no more friend. All right. So they agree that they are going to go. They're going to try to help them. They finally agree. And they start their plans. And there is a river.
Well, it's not a river. Yeah,
Not
they
a
say a
river. It
river.
was a river. It's full of walkers.
I don't think it was ever a river. I think it's a street.
Wait, let me see. Hold on.
They call it the river, but it's not a river.
I don't know. Yeah, it's called the river, but you're right. It might not actually be
a river of zombies.
It's
It's a river of zombies.
Yeah, it is. I thought maybe it was a dried up river, but it might just be a stream of zombies. The point is, it's a trap that they put out of zombies to keep people away. Basically, they have
It's a
to.
great idea. It's a cool idea.
But it's also something they do in this show a gazillion times. It's nothing new. They have to cross this river of walkers in order to get to where they're going, basically, to get to the convoy. Yeah. It's between them and the convoy.
Yeah.
And so Daryl says that they do have to hit the convoy before they get to that point. But there's going to be a lot of guards. And this is where he says, well, we don't hit them all at once. They're going to take them out, I guess, a little bit at a time there. And that's their lookout. And there's the convoy, and there's all the walkers. You can see them there.
It's pretty cool the way they have them down. I mean, I guess it could, but especially once you look down at it, it's not a river; it's a street. You can see that it's a street, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's their plans. They're right now kind of looking at it, investigating it, but they haven't started yet because they go back to the place for the night. And this is where Daryl has another really annoying flashback, although I do like the dead end side. It looked kind of cool. But
yeah, go ahead. I have problems with this flashback for a number of reasons, but
yeah, I've said before, I think these flashbacks with Merle are a waste of time, and especially because we didn't have them in the regular series. I think they're unnecessary. They're not giving us anything.
I'm not
I
sure.
People who didn't watch the original series, I just don't see the point to them at all.
I'm not sure these scenes are accurately telling the story of Merle and Daryl.
No, all it is showing, we're assuming. It doesn't exactly explain, but you're to assume that it's about Merle getting beat by his father and him telling Daryl to run away.
That's we know
that. Yes.
We know something, Jamie, we know something totally different from the original series. We know that the father was abusing Merle. And Merle leaves home to get away from it, left Daryl home alone. And Daryl then became the victim of the beatings and was like beaten a lot. And Merle comes back later. Let me finish. Merle comes back later and says, oh, and remember, like he sees all the scars and he says, I didn't know Dad did that to you. Like, or I didn't know he did that to you. Like, this is not the version that we were told, unless this is supposedly after Merle comes back.
I'm not sure if this is a retcon or what, because this is implying that Merle was trying to tell him to get away, was telling him to run, and Daryl didn't want to leave him there.
Merle left him there, and like
I know. I'm saying that's what these flashbacks seem like.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what these flashbacks are trying to.
Yeah, either way,
I think they're unnecessary. I'm not really sure what they're telling us that we need to know at this point in this story.
Yeah, I agree. They're kind of annoying.
And that Daryl seems to be dreaming almost nightly now of his brother, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, and considering his brother's dead, I don't see the point in having them now anyway. It's like long.
Well, I mean, I think you could still be like have trauma for the rest of your life after your child abuse, right? Like you're gonna have trauma, but let me finish. I'm not sure what about losing Isabel has brought up these memories of Merle, or what about losing Roberto has brought up these memories of Merle. It doesn't, right?
That's my point. Not that you wouldn't have trauma years later. My point is that this is like a decade and a half later since Merle's been dead, and we haven't seen these flashbacks or these memories or these bad dreams in like over a decade.
Yeah.
Like to bring them up now makes no sense. He says, saying the same thing about the flashbacks. They don't follow what we know. So yeah, I'm not sure if they're trying to retcon it or if it's just for people who haven't seen it. I'm honestly not sure, but they're really annoying. Whoops, wrong thing I'm clicking.
Yeah.
All right. So he talks to her a little bit about having a nightmare, and that's where I lost it. Where he says, "Puppies and rainbows," which I swear is from Z Nation, but
I think it's a common statement, puppies and rainbows. I think one of the dumbest lines of the episode is in this scene where Paz talks about, like, she tells the story of how she met Elena and they were in love or whatever, and then she tells that whole story, and then she says to Daryl, I think you lost someone too, someone you can't bring back. I'm like, what? And Daryl says, I've lost a lot of people. And I'm like, yeah, as has every single person who's alive right now. Like, this is some big revelation that Paz realizes about Daryl. You've lost someone. I mean, he did recently lose Elena. He did recently lose Isabel, and he's unhappy about it, right? But
Yeah,
I hope that piece of dialogue was really not
I agree. It's bad writing, and yeah, because you're right. He says it, and then she says that doesn't hurt the same. Meaning, losing somebody that dies doesn't hurt the same as somebody being gone. But yeah, no shit.
Oh no, I don't think she says they don't. I don't agree with that though. I thought and we can have two different interpretations of the sentence. That's fine. But when she said they don't all hurt the same, I thought she meant that losing a romantic love doesn't hurt the same as losing like other people in your life.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I took it as she meant like because she was dead as opposed to just gone.
Oh,
Maybe
like somebody who's like her pain is more than Daryl's because his lover is dead and hers is like alive.
yeah, I don't know because she says maybe you lost someone too that you can't get back, and that's when she says they don't hurt the same. So yeah, I don't know. Either way, it was a badly written scene.
And also like gee, now you're comparing the pain of losing different people and like one kind of I mean,
Yeah,
that's very individual, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, she was saying about, and maybe this is what she meant, I don't know, but she was saying about how like she kept going after her and wouldn't quit because she convinced and until she says that she found her or went to find her and she was caught by Alcazar and left for dead with the walkers,
Yeah.
which again we get another name, Los Fuegos. And she convinced herself that it was better to forget, that it's not the same as giving up. So, and that changed when she showed up in Salaz. So, I don't know. Maybe I think maybe what she's saying is that it's harder when the person is actually not dead because there's a possibility she could find her. So if she doesn't find her, she feels like she gave up on her. I guess that's the only interpretation that makes sense.
Yeah,
to me.
maybe what she meant was the pain is worse when you gave up on the person. Like, right, that like I gave up. And so that hurts differently than like
and she could be suffering, whatever. We don't know.
She hasn't done anything. She feels bad about herself for like Daryl's going to rescue this person he's known for 5 minutes. And she like has not gone to rescue her lost love.
Yeah, no, I agree. Either way, it's not a great scene, but
no, it's not.
The point is she got caught by Alcazar before. That's the point of the conversation, is that she got caught when she tried to rescue Elena the first time. So she
no, I think the point of the conversation the point of the conversation is her guilt over not having tried again.
Yes. But she was trying before is the point, I guess. So yeah, that's that whole conversation. Then we go back to Roberto's place, and he's with his son. Carol goes outside and she finds, I didn't put a picture of the dead cat. She finds I'm like, I'm not taking a picture of the dead cat. She finds a dead cat, the cat dead, and look, we as viewers, I think, know that means, since the cat was drinking from his cup, which we mentioned earlier, that means it was poisoned. That is what she thinks. She doesn't say it yet, but that's clearly what she thinks. And she immediately tries to break into Fede's place in order to try to get medicine. I'm not sure how getting medicine and aspirin is going to stop the poison, but I don't know how she thinks that will fix things, but that's, it's.
I'm not sure how she knew exactly to go and look in that little wooden box for the key when Justina, who has lived in that house for 10 years, didn't know where it was, and her grandmother had to tell her.
I know, but either way, like, I understand if she was trying to break in to get the medicine for like the fever, but if he's been poisoned, she doesn't know what to give him.
I thought the same thing, Jamie. Like, she doesn't know is it antifreeze? Is it poison berries? Is it right?
It's a poison fever. We just got to get rid of the fever.
Gasoline, like, who knows what it is? Arsenic? It could be anything. And you give, you're right. And like, you don't even, what does Carol know about how to like,
I don't know. He's trying to look for something at any rate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame her for trying, right? But
yeah, she's going to find something, she thinks.
Yeah.
And then there's also
going to be a bottle that says antidote on it, like in a cartoon.
Oh, yeah, on the show. she overhears too now these two guys. This is where the one guy says to the one henchman says to the other henchman that his wife's sick, and he's like, "Oh, if you need more medicine, just let us know." And
Yeah.
clearly showing that Fede doesn't want to help.
And I was thinking, Carol, you should have started studying Spanish back in high school.
Yeah, I know, right? Or at least once you got there, try a little harder. So she breaks into the cabinet. Like, what doesn't break in? She finds the key, as you said. She gets into the cabinet. Yeah, she gets into the cabinet and she gets caught by Fede's mother, who now again, like you said, Carol, it would be better if Carol knew Spanish. She's trying to get across to Fede's mother here. That I wish I knew what her name was, so I wasn't just calling her Fede's mother, but I don't.
That's right.
She's trying to tell her that Fede has been poisoning Roberto because she says, he needs medicine. He's got a fever. And she says that Fede lied. He's been lying for years. That Justina found out he was cheating, meaning with the La Ofrenda. I don't know if she actually said it was for the Ofrenda. And he sent her away, and she doesn't understand half what she's saying, but she is able to get her to understand Fede lies, poisoning him. And then she says the cat's dead from the poison. That's why he's been so sick. And she shows her the compass. She gets her point across. And the woman, who clearly did not know what he was doing, doesn't want him to die, gives her the medicine. But again, what this magical medicine is, I don't know, but it's going to cure him probably. So we just have to buy that. But it's some kind of antidote and he'll be fine. So she gives it to him. So that does show that she didn't know what was going on. She feels bad for Roberto. So I guess when she told her son about the necklace, she did not expect him to go and try to poison the kid. I'm not sure what she thought would happen, but
Well, I mean, it's her son. You don't think your son is going to go murder someone.
True. But she did try to cause trouble when she gave him the necklace in the first place. But yeah, you're right. I'm sure she didn't assume he was going to try to kill him. But yeah, she gives him the medicine, and for some reason that I didn't understand, Carol gave her back the compass. I kind of wondered why she didn't keep it, but not that it's important. It was kind of like, why'd you give it back to her? So yeah, Carol after this goes back to see, I get more on that. Goes back to see Antonio and tells him, and also I have marked down here, we both mentioned this in the chat, that when she opened the cupboard, there's all those big glass jar of macarons. Like, how old are those fucking macarons?
Yeah, there's a glass of macarons. Like, how old are those? And they're all perfect. They're not disintegrated. Like, they're meringue. Like, one good rainstorm and they will deflate down to nothing, right? With the humidity. And I made them once. They're made out of almond flour. Like, I'm pretty sure they're not growing almonds and milling them to like make macaron. I mean, I'm not a good cook. I'm actually make them. They weren't as hard as I thought, and you got to make that like little icing that goes in them. I'm like, what are those doing in there? Dyed pink, dyed green. They're like perfect macarons in there.
Yeah, and maybe Daryl brought them from France and he stole them. And I'm joking.
That's a good one. That's more likely than the fact that rather that somebody baked them. Yeah,
that makes more sense. Thanks, Galactus. Either way, she comes in, she tells Antonio what's going on. We got to get out of here. He's poisoning him. We're magically going to be able to save him, but we got to get out of here. You need to come with us. And he doesn't want to leave. And she's like, what is this awful thing he's holding over you? That the reason you won't leave, you have to tell me. And he's like, well, I can show you. So this is where he takes her back into the movie room, the theater room. And he thanks to the nurse from Fargo, I can't eat macarons. I don't know what that story's about. I don't know if I want to know.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I hear you. I haven't watched it.
I watched Fargo, but it was so long ago. I honestly don't remember. So he shows her more of his, I guess not really home movies because it was supposed to be documentary. And there, Roberto's waking up. You knew he was going to come in. That was like, duh.
I know.
So he shows Antonio shows Carol.
By the way, that's exactly my hair when I was in high school. That picture right there. That's my hair from the back, y'all, if you could see it right now.
So he shows her these movies and he says that he was part of this radical group fighting for independence. His mother was a member, like he thought it was the right thing. He was working on a documentary about it and she was reporting on it for him, but she really didn't want to do it. He thought they'd change the world. He thought this was a good thing. She thought they were terrorists and she was probably right.
Well, I mean, the Basque Separatist Party and their efforts to try to create an independent state are a real thing that really happened, right? And they did engage in, you would call it, they blew people up, they assassinated people. Like, yeah, you would call them terrorists, right? Unless you were the people who thought you were being oppressed and wanted to separate, right? I guess.
Yeah, it's happened multiple times in the world. It's not. It's
yeah. They actually agreed to a ceasefire, laid down their arms, and eventually like went out of business and stopped in like the first part of the 2000, like maybe by 2010, maybe.
In our world, not in their world, because in their world the apocalypse happened, so they didn't get that far.
In their world, yeah, their world, they overthrew the government by becoming zombies.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, the whole point of this is he says that Maria didn't want to be part of it, but he made her, he insisted. And I agree with you. He didn't make her, she agreed to do it. Maybe she didn't want to do it, but she did it. Did he talk her into it? Maybe, but he's not completely to blame to the point he shouldn't tell his son the truth.
I mean, I got a lot of problems with this, right? Like he thinks that they're like telling a story about, I don't know what, freedom fighters or whatever he said. She thinks they're giving a voice to terrorists, but she agrees to do it. Like, that's a major, like, what? Like, if I think some people are terrorists, but I can get like a man that I'm in love with to convince, like, I know there are stories about this, right? But I just really felt like this whole thing was about like gave Maria no agency. As you said, she made a decision. Like, he made her do it. She agreed to, as you said, she agreed to do it.
And that's the thing. If he loved her and she had said, I don't want to do this, I'm scared, he probably wouldn't have made her. So
like, I wouldn't say he didn't love her if he like.
No. I'm saying if she said to him, I don't want to do this, I'm scared. If he loved her, he probably would have backed off. I'm saying. So I'm saying, like, she still made the choice.
I really disagree. I don't think it proves that he didn't love her because he asked her to do this.
I said that if she asked him to quit and said to him, hey, this scares me, I don't want to be here because something bad's going to happen. I'm saying if he loved her, he probably would have changed and said, okay, let's leave. I'm just saying, like, she didn't force. I don't think she, like he said, he made her. I don't think she forced the issue. Like, she made a choice to agree to do it is what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
I mean, he wasn't like, I have a gun pointing at you, stand in front of that car and say these lines, right? Like,
I'm just saying, if she forced the issue, he may have backed off. We don't know because he didn't complain.
She agreed to do this project with her husband against her, maybe her better judgment, against her more. She went against her own moral code or whatever, which that's an issue. But I felt as I watched this that he was giving Maria like no agency. Like, I asked her to do it and she did it. I made her do it. Like, sorry, dude, like, you're not that powerful. Like, she did, like, I get that you feel like you put your wife in harm's way and you kind of did. You asked her to stand in front of a car, but he didn't know there was a car bomb in it, right?
Yeah, it isn't. I mean, he was the cause in a way, but it wasn't his fault exactly. It's
he was also maimed in that accident and could have been killed, right? He, like, both their lives were risked.
He definitely didn't know it was going to happen. That's the case.
I don't understand.
To wait, 20 years or well, whatever it is, 15 years, and not tell his son and be afraid to let his son know the truth. Like, I get it. He feels guilty, but to not be willing to leave the town and letting Fede hold this over his head is kind of a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he has major survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
And that's why he's saying things like, I made her do it and can't, and like, can't. And like, why wouldn't you leave town? If you're afraid Fede's going to tell, then just leave with Roberto and you can keep up your lie for the rest of your life, right? Like,
I know.
It makes no sense. And like, how does Fede know? How does Fede know and nobody else knows? Or does everybody know when they don't say anything?
I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, this is completely a guess, is the way he talked about Fede before, and like he had a nickname for him and everything. I'm guessing like Fede was maybe friends with him, and he had a crush on Antonio's wife, or maybe he had an affair with her. We don't know. I'm guessing Fede probably, when this happened, probably told him what happened.
I don't know. I mean,
that's a guess. I don't know.
I think it's more than a crush. He has her picture. He's been pining for her for 12 years.
Yeah,
Fede also
he might have even had an affair. We don't know. But I'm guessing that Antonio probably came to Fede. Oh my God, my wife's dead. It's my fault. And that's how he knew. That would be my guess.
We don't know, I guess. But that's the reason that Fede hates Roberto's, because Fede was in love with Maria also. And he also blames Roberto for getting Maria killed, which is very
I'm sure it doesn't help him.
I'm really annoyed by this woman who is dead and can't speak for herself, who's like a pawn in this story between these two men. Yeah. It bothers me.
No, I totally agree. B said, I think he should have just told Roberto what happened to his mother. He's a lot less likely to forgive Antonio for not fighting Frenda and Justina having to leave. Yeah, and I think also him being mad at his father I don't think him being mad at his father is about him letting his mother die or causing his mother's death. I think if he's mad at his father, it's because his father lied and didn't tell him. It has
for the last 12 years.
I don't think that he would have blamed him. I think he would have said, you didn't do it on purpose. You didn't know there was a bomb, but he's mad because he lied, which is common sense that most people would be. And also he's a kid, not a kid. He's a young person. And he's only found out and had like 5 seconds to digest it too. There's that.
Yeah.
The lying is worse than the lie.
Yes.
Definitely. All right. So now she knows what happened, and
she should say, like, that's not that big a deal. Just tell him and let's go. Right.
Yeah.
Or let's go and then tell him when you get to the Commonwealth.
We're going to do this base as fuck. We have a name that works now. All right. So they're walking in and are watching it. And of course he comes in.
Of course. Like you don't play this video for this. Also, why are you making a documentary on like Super 8 video, whatever? But But
I also kind of question, especially if you were devastated and it was so important to you, you didn't want your son to know this, right? And you're like, this guy's blackmailing me. Why would you keep the video then?
I don't know.
I mean, I know it's of his wife, but he could have like cut the end of the film off or something. Like, why would you?
Why would you go in the next room and watch it right when he's lying in the bed in the next room?
He's blackmailing him with it. I would think that his Fede would have the video, not Antonio.
Well, I think maybe his wife is dead and he wants to be able to have images of her that he can look at and remember. And he also wants to like feed and stoke his own guilt over and over again. He tortures himself with the survivor's guilt, I think. But hopefully he watches it usually when Roberto's not around, but like it's like the next house over, right? It's like a little outbuilding kind of house. Right?
It's the whole scene's really poorly written.
And it gets worse after this, but let's move on to the worst part.
So then, so then let's see. So then we go to the convoy again. They're going to attack it. And it's just kind of like the whole showdown. Now, yes, I have a lot of problems with this scene. So we know Elena is in there with the Alcazar guy that
in the Downton Abbey car.
In the Downton Abbey car, yeah. Because Paz does see them. We see that Justina and the other girl that I don't remember her name.
Alba
are in the cage being carted away. Elena does see them coming. And her and her husband get out of the car and are trying to get away. And whenever Laya looks in the car, she sees they're gone.
But conveniently, there's a rocket launcher in there or a grenade launcher.
I know. He just leaves her a rocket launcher. Again, this episode has so many issues. So they're like, hey, the keys are on the guard. Okay, that's fine. I buy that.
No, that's not fine because they let him spend 5 minutes. No,
I buy that the keys are on the guard. The part that happens after that, I don't buy. I buy that the keys were on the guard. That's the only part I buy.
Yeah, I buy that.
There's like, whatever, 50 keys on the key ring for some reason, even though they have like 2 cars or whatever. There's like 50 keys. And Daryl is struggling to get the key.
Yeah, but what happens before that is like he's like, get me something, and they get this little screwdriver that's laying on the ground. Why they have a screwdriver or a little pry bar in their cage, I don't know. But they give it to Daryl, and they watch Daryl try for 5 minutes to like pry this lock, or at least 90 seconds that they don't have, prying this lock open, and then they're like, oh, by the way, the guard has the keys. What?
Yeah, they say that. That's a problem.
Like,
but my problem is
that right away.
Stands there forever to try the keys. Okay, two things. You could, number one, before they're taken away, before you leave them, you could hand them the keys so they could try to get out on their own. That's one thing. Yeah. Number two, you have a gun. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say, Kelly. Thank you. Maybe he can't shoot the lock with them in there, but he could pass the gun through the bars. There's enough room. Have them shoot it out. Or even so, give them the gun so when the guard comes, they can shoot the guard. Something, you know?
Give them the gun and the keys. So they could try the 50 keys while they're driving along, right?
Exactly. But I honestly don't understand why Daryl just didn't stay there. I mean, I know that Paz, I think, kind of talked him into leaving, but I didn't understand that Daryl didn't like grab onto the truck and like jump on and keep trying the keys, because if as soon as he got it open, they could have all jumped off the truck. It wasn't like they were going 7 miles an hour.
I also don't understand why Elena didn't jump out of the Downton Abbey car like at any time during this entire ambush once she had the chance, right?
Well, but she might have been afraid her husband would kill her or Paz.
I don't think he's going to kill her. She's the princess he's supposed to marry. I don't think he's going to kill her. I don't think he has a gun. And I don't think his guys because he might get bit by a zombie, but like, this is your chance, lady. In the chaos, this is your one chance to jump out. I had to go to jury duty the other day, and I got put on a trial. And the trial was about this girl who was afraid that her Uber driver was like going the wrong way, and she was scared. And she asked him to stop, and he wouldn't stop. So she rolled down the window and jumped out the window of the moving car. And now she's suing him for like her medical bills or whatever. Was my trial. But so if that lady who's afraid of her Uber driver can jump out of a moving car, I was like, why can't Elena jump out of the stopped car and like run?
Yeah, you would try.
I know why, because we need to have episode 7. I know why.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. It more irritated me, the thing with the keys, because like I said, if you're gonna not go with them, at least give them the keys or give them the gun so when the guard comes, they can shoot them. Like, don't just leave them there and take the keys and the gun with you. I can agree.
It might be the worst thing in the whole episode was that it wasn't like, here, take the keys, right?
Yeah, you can keep trying. No, he just lets go of the cage. We'll come back to the next episode, right?
The keys. Yeah, maybe we'll see those keys again.
Yeah, he'll go through the keys.
And here's the grenade launcher.
Okay, so look, I can't say I didn't like that she found a rocket launcher. It was stupid, but I didn't mind it because I thought it was cool. But she gets bumped. The rocket launcher goes haywire. She doesn't
get bumped. Paz purposely bumps her because she's afraid she's going to blow up Elena. She's like, I got to shoot the prince. I'm going to shoot it, and Elena, don't shoot Elena, kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. So the rocket launcher goes off sideways, hits the wall. Walkers come in. She barely moves or tries to get away when she gets bit, but she gets bit.
She gets shot first, and then she gets shot first.
But she looked like she would have been okay if she like tried to get away, but she just kind of stood there while she got bit. There's Daryl again. I'll come back for you next episode, I promise.
Here's the keys.
Yeah, no, that's just, I'm sorry. That was just so bad. Glad you think it was dumb, Kelly's. I agree. This irritated me so bad.
And what I did like about this, I did like the way it was very much like a Western. It was like an ambush in a canyon, right? And like the buildings on both sides of the canyon walls, and they can't go forward, they can't go backward, and that's what allows the smaller group to ambush them. And it was kind of cool, and it's in keeping with the way the whole season is very like Western, spaghetti Western, whatever, right? I like that. I like the scenery. I like some of it. I don't know why they have a car from like 1927 that they're driving around. I don't know like what, and it still has curtains and like a bud vase in it, just like the Crawleys. Like, I don't really know where that car came from. It's cool, but it's an impractical vehicle. I guess they think they're like Queen Elizabeth swanning around in these like.
He's the king to be. He's wrong. Samuel says he gave up on the Walking Dead shows a long time ago. Yeah.
I know, but you're still entertained by us talking about the Walking Dead.
Yes. This is the better spinoff. Look, I like this spinoff. but this episode was written pretty badly. Yeah, there's a lot, and I don't know. I just that scene with the cage just irritated me so bad. Like he just gives up, goes with her. Like at least leave him the damn gun. If you're gonna give up, at least give him the gun or the keys, one of the two, right?
Yeah.
So major issues with that. So then we go to Carol and Roberto, who she has hidden under her shit in the Jeep, which somehow they're supposed to look through the Jeep and not find him, which granted,
this also is a terrible plan.
It was a terrible plan. And granted, they probably would have found them if Antonio hadn't shown up, but that's beside the fact.
It's like, Jamie, lie down in the back seat and throw this blanket over you, and I'll drive us out the front door of the prison camp. Right?
It's Mary's invisibility cloak. Nobody can see him.
Yeah, or it's the old, like, hide in the laundry basket, right? Like, they always hide in the laundry bin to get out of the prison.
They do.
Or the hospital.
Antonio says to Carol that he is going to leave separate. He tells her that Gustavo will help him sneak out and meet her at the lighthouse. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing he already kind of assumed he might have to intervene and that he was never going to make it to the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Because he's kissing her goodbye, basically. Now, I thought
he's going to die. He's definitely dead by the end of next week, right?
I just think that I get maybe he kisses her goodbye, but they tried to make it like, oh, they're never gonna, I don't know. It just was.
Yeah, well, Jamie, you are never going to be able to take anyone kissing Carol except Carol.
I just don't. I don't buy that they've known each other for a week and Carol's now like suddenly,
I mean, look, I've kissed people I've known less than a week, right? Like, come on.
Yes, that's very true. And he's kissing her goodbye, but Carol acted like she was, the way she kissed him back was like, oh yes, I want to see you. I don't know. It just was dumb. I just didn't like what they did.
I'm not
regardless of liking Daryl and everything. I just didn't like the point they're trying to throw her with him, or is how I feel.
I don't think they're trying to throw her with him. There's barely anything between them. And Carol's entitled to have a flirtation.
But I think as it being a TV show, I feel like, to me as a viewer, it feels like they're trying to throw them together. And I know you're saying you don't feel that way. That's fine. That's just the way I feel. I feel like they're like, we gave Daryl girlfriends. Now we're going to give Carol somebody. Like, that's how it feels to me. Like they're shoving down my throat. I don't mind Antonio. I don't need to see them together.
They tried to tell us in the behind the scenes earlier that like with like finally accepting Sophia's death in the Batcave, like in the channel, like allowing her to move on with her life. But she already was basically married to Ezekiel before, right? Like she was in love with Ezekiel and they were partners for kind of a long time, right? So this is not Carol's first. This is not Carol's first.
Right?
Ezekiel?
Yeah.
She left him, but he subsequently, no, he's one of the heads that Alpha puts on a spike eventually.
Not in the series, maybe in the comic.
Oh, he's in the comic book.
He's not in the series. He's definitely not in the series. I just couldn't remember if he was still alive, but no, he's not a head. Her son was a head.
Oh, because in the comic book, he gets together with actually Michonne, and then he's killed. But anyway, she actually left him, but this is another part where this show is like, is it retconning? Is it retelling this idea that Carol's finally able to move on now that she's accepted Sophia, but she did have a relationship with Ezekiel.
Yeah. Look, I also get if you're never going to see somebody again, you're afraid you'll never see him again. You might, feel more strongly than you normally would. But, in this world, she'll probably see him again and, tomorrow. So
yeah,
that's the way it all goes. Samuel says season 1 and 4 of the Walking Dead Telltale games are the greatest of all time. The comics are good as well. I played part of season 1 of the Telltale games, but I never finished it. I think I had bought the first couple chapters or whatever, and then never, because it's one of those ones they're released in episodes. You have to get them all.
Yeah.
I never played the end of it. Golden Child says it's hard to be choosy in a zombie apocalypse.
That's true.
But she's got Daryl.
She hasn't got Daryl. I know.
Daryl's there.
I find Daryl Dixon very unattractive with his greasy Snape hair.
He does need to take a shower. I'll agree with you.
I didn't really mind this kiss goodbye. I just, again, don't see the spark between them.
No, I don't either. Yeah, but it is what it is. All right. So so as we said, they're kiss goodbye. And yeah, they were like, I also didn't, like I said, Carol was overly emotional from what I expected her to be too. I guess
Really?
that's all to me. I felt like. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it makes sense. You think he's gonna die, whatever. All right, so then
I
we
mean, kissing
got,
Carol like seals the deal. That man is dead next week.
oh, probably,
His
yeah.
character, like, if you kiss Carol, you're dead. Sorry. Get involved with Carol and Daryl, you're dead.
Yeah, don't do that. Not a good thing, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this is them going off now. And this is where Paz is like, you weren't going to let go of her, were you? And he's like, I thought it might have been our only chance. So again, why did you let go, dumbass? But
Well, he had to let go. He could have been, the truck was moving. He can only keep up with a moving truck,
but
right?
I think that he could have jumped on and held the bars or
But
something.
they had lost. He was going to get shot. They had lost, and the convoy was now moving on.
Maybe, but they could have at least given him the gun. Anyway.
I
Didn't
know why Khalid. I didn't know why Khalid says thank you, Daryl. Like,
yeah, I didn't understand that either.
Daryl should be thanking Khalid for helping him try to save two women that Khalid never met and getting his friends killed, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, thank you, Daryl. Like, Daryl was helping them. They were helping Daryl. They should be like, thanks a lot, mother effer. Now get out of our town.
They probably should. And you're right. She still has the hot dogs. They have the hot dogs. Those will come into play sometime. All right. So Daryl is like, we got to still, they're going to try again. We know that because there's next week.
Yeah. And then comes the worst part of the whole show is the next part.
Yeah. All right. So they stop Carol at the gate and they look through her Jeep, not very well. And he's like, you have a solar panel. And she's like, well, yeah, he gave it to me. And he's like, it wasn't his to give. Like, it was freaking Antonio's, dude. It's not yours. And yeah, but of course they would have found, it made no sense they didn't see Roberto, but they didn't.
I mean, he's looking for an excuse to search that truck because he knows Roberto's in that truck.
And to be fair, they quit searching because Antonio showed up, which is why Antonio showed up, because he knew that Carol would never make it out of there.
Yeah.
So he starts, yelling that Fede tried to poison his son or did poison his son. Tell everybody what you did, knowing that he's going to get killed saying this. Nobody's going to believe him. It's more about giving Carol.
I don't know that nobody's going to believe him. Do you think nobody's going to believe him?
I don't know that nobody will believe him. I think Fede will probably kill him before anybody can believe him.
Yeah. But I mean, I took it that people in the town were interested. Like there's some bystanders now. He's not going to kill Antonio right now because there are bystanders who are like, wait, what? What did he do? He lied, right?
But he's definitely going to do something probably to but like I said, I think that he knows he's likely going to die. I think the whole point of him shouting this is because he's trying to get them to let Carol go. And he's like, deal with me. I'm the problem. Let his
son go. He's going to sacrifice himself to let his son live.
Let his son go. He doesn't care what happens to him. He wants Carol and his son to get out of there. He's still hiding in the car. And it works. And they tell Carol to move on, which I was really surprised it worked. I thought they'd detain both of them, but it works. She gets out of there. Then we get the flashback.
This is terrible.
So we get the flashback of Antonio's wife dying and him begging the EMT to try to work on her longer. He can't. He's like, there's other people that are hurt. This is, after the bombing. And then he looks at his dead wife and then she wakes up. That's a good picture.
Well, but in between we see, he looks outside.
Yes.
People in body bags are sitting up. So
yeah, there's people screaming and people waking up. And
conveniently, the car bombing of his wife, his wife was a bystander, but the car bombing happened to happen 1 second before, it happened to happen during the day that the walkers wake up.
Yes.
It is I think what I said was it's an amazing coincidence and an unnecessary coincidence. What does this have to do with anything? Look, the point is that she was killed and he's traumatized by it and guilty all these years later. Yeah. Why they had her have to it happened at the moment. I mean, what little credibility that story had for me is greatly diluted by this coda. on it.
I mean, I guess you could say, well, it's giving you context as to when it happened, but I don't think it matters. And I think they thought it would be a cool reveal, but it wasn't. It was just dumb.
I thought it was a dumb reveal.
Yeah. I'm just taking off the bloody photo, so it's not up there. I worry
I
about
thought it was
YouTube.
kind of a cool photo, actually.
It is a cool photo, but I don't know if YouTube starts to get, I don't know. I don't want to have to edit video.
Way worse stuff on YouTube. There's like
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk's murder is probably still up there.
Probably.
But it was dumb. It's unnecessary. Like what? Like now it has to also have happened that day. Like people could die and just die before this, right? Like
Yeah, they could have either had her die and she was actually dead, or it could have been, well, yeah, I guess it had to be like during or before. But
I don't know if
it could have
any of our chatters who watched it thought that was unnecessary. Also, I thought it was kind of dumb.
I agree.
And that was the end. That was the end of the episode, right?
Yeah, that was the end. Yeah. So we have one episode left, and the lead up to the finale was. The more we've talked about it, the more I agree with you. I do think this was definitely the worst of the season, maybe of this series. I guess I didn't realize how much I disliked it until we started talking about it and pulling it apart.
Yeah. I mean, there've only been 6. One has to be the worst, and one has to be the best.
And that's fine. The rest of the season wasn't awful, so it's okay. But it's not a great episode at all.
No.
It has a lot of script issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other thing I have the problem with, and this is what I was saying earlier, Susan, I didn't say, they released part of this behind the scenes thing talking about her and Antonio, like at the beginning of the season.
Carol and Antonio?
Carol and Antonio at the beginning of the season. Like they released clips of them. I guess they thought people would be happy. I don't know. I just thought didn't understand why they told that ahead of time. Because I've seen clips over social media of like her kissing him and stuff. And I'm pretty sure it might've been released by, well, maybe I think it was released by, I shouldn't say pretty sure because I'm not positive, but it seemed like it was like official stuff. So it was like the part of that behind the scenes thing. So it's been kind of floating around and I don't understand why.
Well, we know that the marketing department does things that production does not okay sometimes.
Yes, that is true. I thought they did that reveal just to show the beginning of the outbreak in Spain. I didn't think it was stupid, but it was pretty. Okay, that's fair. We haven't seen the beginning of the outbreak in Spain. I guess I get that, but it wasn't necessary. Like, yeah, it definitely wasn't necessary. But I can see your point. I just, to me, it was kind of dumb. I don't know. I feel like they wanted you to think like, oh, that was such a cool reveal, and it wasn't, to me anyway.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It was just, maybe if it was in one of the other episodes or something, like maybe it wouldn't have been as irritating to us. I don't know. Yeah. But at the end of a not great episode, it was not great. Yeah.
So next week, as I said, I'm looking forward to getting to see Barcelona. I don't know if we will because I'm not sure they're going to rescue these girls next week. I think maybe Daryl will get captured. Because we have the last season is also filmed in Spain.
Yeah, I kind of assumed before, I thought season 4 was like a different country or was going to be them going home. I mean, probably I'm sure part of 4 will be them going home.
Well, it's being shot in Spain.
But yeah, they've already announced because they, announce everything with the show ahead.
Oh, they announced it months ago that 3 and 4 were shot in Spain.
So I'm not sure the point of that. Like, I want to see them headed home. I don't need to see more. Not that I don't like it being in Spain. I mean, it looks cool, but like, I want to see them get home, right? I think everybody's hoping for, a resolution to the story. Whether that will happen or not next season is anybody's guess. Yeah. But I hope they at least get back to America, I would hope, before the end of next season.
My prediction is that Daryl gets captured and Carol has to come and rescue him, like she did in Spain.
I hope not. I don't need to see that.
We've seen it many times, right? But might be able to see some badass Carol, which she hasn't been this season very much. But what's going to happen to keep them in Spain for their season, right? Like, were they going to hang out and build a boat and fight? Like,
yeah, but to be fair, just like how they spent, one episode in England, even if it's continued and they stay in Spain, I mean, do we know, are like they doing the whole season or most of the season in Spain, or is it possible it's like episode 1's in Spain and then the
What
rest
they've
is
said is seasons 3 and 4 are being shot in Spain. I think that's all they've said.
well, I have to assume if season 4 is the last season that they're in. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I would hope that they're intending to get them back.
I don't know. They could just get on a boat and go in the ocean, and that's the end of it, right? Or they could land they could land maybe on the coast of North America, and that would be the end of it. And they still got to walk to Ohio, or like who knows? But I think we're not going to get a resolution to the story. I mean, maybe Carol will decide to stay in Spain and get married to Roberto, which would suck for Carol because Carol's the one who knows how to use the sextant. But I just think maybe it won't.
Badass Carol. I'm tired of her being lame. We need more badass Carol.
Yeah. So I just think this is not going to be resolved next week because there's another whole season that's set in the same country.
Yeah. And that's why I wish they wouldn't like tell people things ahead of time. They would just keep it under wraps. We don't need to know.
Well, but you can't like keep it under wraps that Norman Reedus is hanging out in Spain for
that's true.
Months, right?
Yeah, but I don't know that people would know how far they are in filming. Like they could have said we're filming season 3, even if they were filming season 4. Like they could have lied and pretended. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends how they do it. But he said season 4 is pretty much all filmed. They were almost finished filming it when they were at the San Diego Comic-Con, and it was in Spain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Although to be fair, they do film things out of order too. So.
But 3 already, they're not done. Like 3 aired, right? And they were like 3 was on the air and they were still shooting.
Yeah. I haven't seen any of the Comic-Con stuff for Walking Dead. So well, I seen a little bit. I seen one interview they had that was on that was streamed live. I found out some of the panels were streamed live. They had restreamed part of the one panel.
Yeah.
It wasn't a panel, it was like a group interview.
There's no way you have McBride and Reedus in Barcelona not getting outed online.
Yeah. That's true. I just hope I'd like to see it resolved if it's going to be the last season. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Anyway, I hope next week will be the season finale be good. And we can probably see a big battle to try to maybe these girls get rescued, but now they've got to try to escape from Barcelona and cross back over the River of Zombies, or I don't know. There could be some cool things, but I predict a cliffhanger. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't love cliffhangers, but I kind of think you're probably right. So we'll have to wait and see. But next week, season finale. So as this was my least favorite episode of the season. Thank you, B. She agrees. She agrees with us. Yeah. Make sure next week join. Oh, hi, Billy Bob. Wait, says by the end of season 4, I'm sure they will be back in the U.S. to lead us into a new spin-off. You might be right.
Yep.
B says I also predict an annoying cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I agree. I think you're both right. But next week, season finale. Remember that at 10 p.m. Eastern, we have our watch party in Discord, which the link to that's in the chat. If you aren't a member of our Discord yet, please join that and get our schedule and everything else. And our live stream will be again at 11:30 next Sunday. And Kelly from Cyborg Queen Medias is going to join us as well. We'll be talking about the finale. But before that, we have Fandom Access on Tuesday at 10. Where we have Wayward and Invasion and maybe The Last Frontier. We'll see what else. But please make sure that you guys subscribe to Sci-Fi-Vision and that you like the video and hype it if you can. Comment outside of the chat and check out all our interviews under the video tab. Like I said, I just put up Robert Patrick's interview. There's some a bunch of Outlander Blood by Blood things. There's one more coming yet on the website. But
and if those shows we're doing on Phantom Access, if you're not into Invasion and Wayward, we're gonna pick up The Diplomat when that comes back on the air next week. We're gonna talk about The Diplomat. We're gonna do Talamasca when that comes on October 26th.
Potentially. Well, we're gonna at some point cover Lazarus, Harlan Coben's Lazarus. I don't know whether we're doing. We're gonna do a separate show, but and if you're doing it with us, I'm not sure, but we'll at least be covering that stuff. So yeah, make sure you guys all tune in for that.
Great.
And yeah, lots of stuff. Trying to
All
think
right.
what else. I got some movie stuff. I feel like there was something else I'm forgetting to promote, but I'm probably just
What we
thinking of
got
the
now.
stuff that
Yep.
I have to. Wait a second. I was gonna look and see. I think those are the main things. Let's see. Yeah, that's right, because Last Frontier I already put up. So,
All
but
right.
yeah, and if you haven't seen Last Frontier, that's also very good. That's on Apple. I very much like that show.
Great.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining
Great,
us,
y'all.
and let us know what kind of other things that you want to see. We've been discussing maybe doing some spotlight interviews for some older shows, maybe some Marvel stuff. We'll see. So yeah, let
Okay.
us know what you guys want to see, and we will talk to you soon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye bye.